Hello, everybody. This is episode number 5, and welcome back. Yes, episode number 5 of the Amber Army YouTube channel's Football Manager 2018 experiment with revamped, boosted Welsh League Together Stronger edition of it, obviously with all the English-based Welsh teams accompanying the regular Welsh Premier League. And we've done 2 seasons now, and as you can see, the past winners on both of those seasons of the JD Welsh Premier League have been Cardiff City. The reputation of the league is slipping. Obviously, the novelty of it is starting to slowly wear off, which means that the teams within have to start getting better, start doing better in Europe for this Welsh Premier League to start climbing back up, if it will, of course. So, Cardiff City were the winners of the last. Let's have a little look at the season preview now. So, what are we? Season preview. Right, so Cardiff go in as 5-2 favourites to win the league again, as you would imagine. So, Merthyr are the second favourites, Newport County third favourites, and Swansea drifting right 8-20 to 1 for this season. You can see the Newport, Swansea and Wrexham will be representing Wales in the Europa League. Cardiff will represent in the Champions League. We'll get onto the transfers shortly, but look, new managers. Let's have a little look. So, you can't really go backwards in time on this, but Brendan Rodgers is now the manager of Cardiff as Neil Warnock has decided to retire. But Nigel Worthington has taken the job at Llandudno. I don't think that's a good... the last I remember of Nigel Worthington was that he was the York manager who got sacked the season after he got them into the playoffs. And then the season after that, then they went down. Philip Cocu is the manager of Merthyr. So I'm quite curious to see what other managerial movements there have been. That's one thing we haven't really kept tabs on, but it's something that we should do in future. But in the meantime, let's have a quick look at one or two other teams other than them three to see who the managers are. Okay, so we're going to check Newport County first. Sean Wharton, whoever he is. So he was the Cwmbran manager and the Goitra Gwent manager, and somehow he's just become the Newport County manager. That's strange. Let's have a quick look at their managerial things there. So Gerardo Martino was the manager. I'm not sure why Michael Flynn wasn't the manager, but he is now the Sevilla manager. Maybe this role must have been open. He left to become the Sevilla manager. Byron Anthony's taken over, and now Sean Wharton is the manager. So that's fair enough then. Let's try one more. Barry Town, their manager is Guillermo Amor from Spain. Quite a high-profile manager there, actually. Fair play to them. He's been the chief scout at Barcelona. He's been the manager of Sporting Gijon. And now he is the Barry Town manager, and they have done quite well under him, fair play. Yeah, so this is the Dream 11. So a lot of these are going to be... Let's have a look and see now. Andre Ayew is in there as one of the better players. Tom Ince, Callum Patterson, Manisa at Merthyr, Tom Bradshaw playing for Newport County. You can see some of these players. John Clark, who was a big player for Llanelli in their promotion bid, so was Terry Pritchard. So there's a few big players there, but there's one there, Declan Lewis. He's only worth 86k. How is he a big player at 86k? He's a goalkeeper, and he's a bloody good one. That would be a steal, an absolute steal. He's not a goalkeeper, he's a sweeper. Looked like a goalkeeper then. He's a sweeper, centre back, 19 years old, really good, and he's only worth 86k, although I don't think they're going to accept 86k for him. So there we go. Let's have a little look at the transfer window. It'll just be the transfers. So these are high-profile transfers. Now, Holyhead have made a big signing and taken Declan John from Cardiff. Gary Bowen, whoever he is, from Carmarthen to Wrexham. Alan Parker. If you're looking for high-profile, Marco Levia to Cardiff from Leeds, and that's a pretty good fee considering he is a 130 to 140. So that is them stepping things up. We're into the 130s now for as far as ability is concerned. So a couple of good transfers there. Be a few free transfers down here that might be quite high profile. I mean, players moving from Tottenham to Merthyr, from Liverpool to Wrexham. So they're picking up some good players in this division. They're picking them up on the cheap, very much so. Conor Randall to Barry for free. So they don't, obviously with the Welsh League, they can approach players from the English League early on. There's a player there from Madrid to Merthyr. Let's have a quick butchers at him before we move on. So look at that, and they picked him up for free from from Madrid. Merthyr have crazy. So there we go. There's an insight of the transfers. We're only on the 2nd of July, so there's still plenty of time. Still plenty of time for there to be more. So no, we don't want to see that one. It's the rules part of it to show us the transfer deadline. So we will pick it up on the 7th of September now, and just give you an insight to the kind of prize money that they get here. So the winner of the league gets just over 40 million, and then 18th place gets 22, and there is a parachute payment of 15 million for them down. But we don't seem to see many teams coming back up. So yeah, we're going to push on now then, guys. We are going to open up the season, and we will rejoin it on the 7th of September. So guys, I will see you there. Okay then, guys, there you go. This is 7th of September now, and here's our leagues in focus. We're going to take a closer look at the JD Welsh Premier League shortly. See, Gresford and Bangor City, who went down, they're the leading teams in the Cymru Alliance. Then Avonlea Will, top two there, Nantiel and Barmouth and Dyffryn, Llanrwst and Aberfraw, Mol Alex and Llanefydd, Chepstow, Saltney, and then the top team and the bottom team, Boderdern or whatever, however you're going to pronounce that one, I really don't know. But Arsenal, Man United in the Premier League, but it's not about the English League, it's about the Welsh League, and mainly about this one, the JD Welsh Premier League. And Newport County have won 3 out of 3, so their rookie manager leading them to 3 wins out of 3 games to start the season off. Cardiff City sitting in 7th. They've only played 2 games so far. They've won 1 and drawn 1, so they're still unbeaten. Merthyr have lost a game. TNS are looking to launch a little bit of more of an assault at the top end of the table. And then, of course, we've got Aberystwyth looking at poking their head up this way. Llandudno Junction making an impact immediately. Llanelli Town 1-1-1 to start with. I'm sure they'll be happy with that, although Swansea will be the team who will be most upset right now. Kaya Sus, mind you, a big team to come up with a few good big players, but we're going to have a quick look at the transfers, but we will look at Kaya Sus because obviously we remember their... Let's try clicking that again. There we are. So Alioski has moved from Leeds to Cardiff. So Cardiff are spending well. They brought Carl Darlow from Newcastle as well. Got Martin Barnard from Bala to Merthyr. He's got to be a new gen. 18 years old. He's going to be a good one. I'm going to take it. Well. Yes, he is going to be good. 188 is his potential for the future. So Martin Barnard, that's one that we got to watch out for. So you can pretty much look at this yourself. I mean, I've been talking about Martin Barnard, but I'm sure a lot of you have been looking down here to see who's been signing who, to the point that Llanelli Town have got a player good enough to play for Liverpool. Who picked him up for 5.5 mil. See why Llandudno Junction are doing so well. They've picked up a couple of players there for some decent money. And for those of you who've looked all the way down there, you see Celtic have been raided a little bit. Obviously Brendan Rodgers, now the manager of Cardiff, has obviously raided his old club Celtic for Callum McGregor, and that could well be a very good signing for Cardiff. The one team absent from these big signings is of course Newport County, who are leading the division, when renowned for making some bigger signings, and so far Newport have only picked up a couple of players, like one from Charlton. Not really seeing any more for them. One from Birmingham for lower amount of money, and they're the ones leading the shop at the moment. So Cardiff are obviously going to be the favourites, I think, looking at the players that they've signed. So it's a matter of let's wait and see on that one. Oop, wrong one. No point looking at the players right now, although Colwyn Bay and Oddie McBurney's topping these charts again, and that's quite mad. That is, although he is a good player. But the one thing I want to look at now is Cardiff. Are they in the Champions League? So the Champions Cup playoff, they lost to Olympiacos, so they will be in the Euro Cup. The Euro Cup awaits Cardiff City. So who are the other teams that we said? Let's have a look at the season preview. Swansea, Newport and Wrexham are the other teams in the European Cup. So Swansea, did they make it? No, they went out to Feyenoord, so they're not in Europe at all. Wrexham. So Wrexham have made it. They beat Basel. So Wrexham are in the Euro Cup. So that's what they need. This Welsh league. They need teams in the Euro Cup. Newport County must have got knocked out. They got knocked out to Rostov. So Newport County got knocked out to Rostov, but Wrexham ended up beating Basel to get through. So just the two teams for Wales in the group stages of the Europa League. So we'll see how that one pans out. But that's the end of the transfer window. A few big players have made their way over to Wales. The division is starting to fill with a lot more quality now, and there's a lot of quality coming through the ranks now as well in a lot of teams. So it's starting to get better and better. So let's have a look and see if they can make their mark on Europe at all. I say we push this forward now to the end of November. We'll have a little look at the Cymru Alliance then, and have a little look into some player stats. First of all, actually, hang on a second. How about we look at Wales a minute, just quickly. So the Euro Championship qualifiers. So they're doing well in that so far. Although the big test is yet to come. They'll be playing at home to Spain soon enough. And in this senior squad, so we got whoever Rob Haley is, worth a lot of money. So you see a lot of these good young players are starting to burst their way into the international scene for Wales now, as you can see now. You obviously still got the likes of Aaron Ramsey and Joe Allen, and you will have Bale, but Bale must be unfit at the moment, which is why he won't be seen here. But so Kaya Seuss, obviously they got Robbie Fox and Lee England, but John Haig is the one that was there. He has now moved to Bournemouth. That was the one thing I wanted to look at, is to see who he plays for now. He's now moved over to England to Bournemouth. So here we go. Let's push the season on and see where things are on the 30th of November. Okay then guys, here we go. It's the 30th of November and a quick overview of the leagues, and there's a bit of a surprise in the Premier League, but we're going to look into that in a bit of detail in a little while. Holywell and Denby are taking the top two spots, and with a little bit of a gap there as well. I thought Gresford and Bangor were the two teams there. Looks as though Bangor may have to settle for a playoff spot. They'll be looking to bounce back immediately after getting relegated. So Llandudno, Albion and Monmouth leading the way in the next division down. The Welsh Alliance League is them and Flint Town. Llanrwst is still top of the League Division 2, and Pool Heli are second place. Llwydcoed and Blaena Festiniog, freaking hell, I'm awful. Yeah, I'm from Newport though, so cut me a break. Overton Recreation and Newport City. Buckley are then top of the Welsh National League Premier. So JD Welsh Premier League is what we're all about at the moment. And from 1st to 5th, there's a point in it. And then from 1st to 8th, there's 5 in it. And then from 1st to 11th, there's 7 in it. All the way down, and Kaya Seuss must have sold up badly because they haven't won a game. They went up very, very strong. And looking at this, they lost John Haig on free. Lewis McIntosh, went to Port Derby, whoever he was. But John Hay, he's the man. And somehow they couldn't get him to sign another deal, or they just didn't sell him at the right time. They spent 11 million, but it just hasn't been enough for them. They've still got Welsh international players playing for them as well. I just don't get why they can't win a game. 11 games in, 0 wins. But I suppose there's time for them to turn it round if they can make the right signings in January, if they've got the money to do it, of course. They should do, though. So, TNS are a team I want to look at this season, because they have won the Nathaniel MG Cup twice, but they've always been around this part of the table. So I think we'd be looking for a little bit more from TNS. Swansea having a poor season, Wrexham having a poor season, but like I said, they're 7 points away from top spot. They could still win the league. That's mental. Penny Bont have really turned things round. Obviously they had a poor season last year. They've turned it round and they're at the top end this time. Newport County obviously still in touching distance of top spot. Cardiff are only a point away, and so are Merthyr. So it's really such an interesting season this is. I mean, it's amazing how the next time you see it, it could be all changed. All of them could be all down there, and some of them could be up there. Madness, absolute madness. So player stats we said we were going to have a quick look at. So let's have a quick look. So these are the leading scorers of the division. So Lewis Graben is in Wales now, playing for Guilsfield. Lucas Akins is playing for Swansea. And the rest of them I don't think really know, other than obviously Ayew and McBurney. So assists, there's 3 players sitting on 4 assists, and Darren Pratley, ex-Swansea, is playing for TNS. Ben Godfrey playing for Newport County, and I don't think we really know, obviously Laszlo Benhez and Hiram Boateng. Obviously that's he's a good player, is Boateng. I'm quite surprised he's actually gone to Prestatyn. But fair play. Let's have a look at the average rating chart, and then we'll move on then. Andre Ayew, quite naturally the best player in the division. Ollie McBurney, mind you, for Colwyn Bay, he's really doing it for them. And you'd have thought his ability would have been a lot higher than that as well, to be doing what he's doing. So it's really, really good how he's managing to keep that up. And it's for 2 seasons as well he's been doing it. So you got some noticeable names like Aidan Flint, who plays for Bristol City in real life, for Penny Bont, who are doing really well, of course, and John Rees, whoever he is, of Penny Bont. Down to 20th place then, you've got another Penny Bont player, Llandudno Junction. Well, they've fallen off the boil, haven't they? Because they started really well and they've fallen down to mid-table. Guilsfield is down there, Llanelli are down there, Holyhead have fallen down there. Well, I'd say from 11th up, that title could still go to someone. This title could go either way from 1st to 11th. I think the teams from 12th down will be fighting it out for relegation. I think Kaiasus are probably already down. Prestatyn are the disappointing team of it this time round, because they're usually up here. But like I say, still time to turn it round. Llandudno now. Who remembers why we look at Llandudno quite a lot? Is he still playing there? He is. Roger Parsonage, just look at his progress. He's a 117 player, but I think he does need to move on, or at least start getting more football somewhere else to get that rating up. But there we go. Let's have a quick look at the cups then. JD Welsh Cup. I don't think we'll be that far into the JD Welsh Cup, so probably not even any point looking at it. Yeah, no point looking at that. The Nathaniel MG. I'm interested to see if TNS are still in it, because they'll be looking for a 3rd win in a row. And nope, they're out. TNS are out, so there will be a new holder of the Nathaniel MG Cup at the end of the season. The one thing we didn't look at is who won the Welsh Football League Challenge Cup, and it was Cardiff, who beat their rival Swansea in the you can't really call it the final, but that's it. That's just the one-off game. Cardiff winning the opening game of the season there. So there we go. That's halfway through the season, guys. Let's have one quick look. Manager movements. So David Adams, the man who took Llanelli Town up, has been offered a new job. He's now the manager of Swansea, interestingly enough. So Wayne Jones is now the permanent manager, coming from Airbus UK. So Carlos Carvajal was offered a new job. He is now the manager of Sporting Lisbon. Interesting. So David Adams, obviously from Llanelli Town. Kaya Seuss. So Carsten Janker was their manager. And who remembers Carsten Janker, the German? Big guy up front. Well, they are actually Schalke. So maybe that's why Kaya Seuss have slipped somewhat, because they've had to take on a new manager. So Kaya Seuss ended up taking on Steve Rogers, who's obviously not doing a good job at all. And looking at his stats there, you can understand why. He's holding a Continental C licence. Port Madog. Now, he failed to get Port Madog up, and then obviously failed to do any good with them the season after. So why would he be worthy of that job unless Port Madog are actually doing well, which they're not? Strange. Anyway, guys, that's the end of that episode. Hope you're enjoying the series. I'm thoroughly enjoying this one. I'm going to keep this going for quite some time, I think, because who knows how things might change. And it's just, like I say, Penny Bont and Colwyn Bay are at the top now. Cardiff are off the top. Swansea are doing particularly bad. Wrexham are falling down. Who knows how this game is going to go. But obviously we want to see these teams do well. Next episode we will see how the two teams who made it to the European group stages are doing. So tune in next time for that and the conclusion of season number 3. Thank you everybody, and until the next time, cheerio for now.